Hey guys, it's West here, back with another episode of From the Crumbs. It's been a month, as per usual. It's not even an unusual thing anymore that I go missing for a long period of time. I've been super busy with work. Yeah, I know, more excuses. But being busy with work has allowed me to get that. For those of you who can't see, 5,500 crystals. It's because I bought the Dimension Hole packs. The Dimension Hole has come out since I've been gone. Dimension Hole is great. I think it's brought a whole new life to the game. Let's bump this over a little bit. It's brought a whole new life to the game that I think it's needed for a little while. It's brought some viability to some Nat 2s and Nat 3s. For those of you who didn't know, you could check out all the secondary awakened monsters in the basic elements, or light dark as well. I don't know why I said basic elements, by going to the very bottom, and it goes even past the awakened monsters, which makes sense. You get your secondary awakened monsters. They're all pretty good. They're all pretty cool. Their stats all become really, really, really good. 4.5 star, approximately. A 4.5 star stat rating, basically compared to what they were at before. So, for example, this is not a good example because we can't see them as a Nat 3 6-star. But anyways, their stats are really good. If you can't tell by the 12k HP this Fire Warbear has, for example, I mean, a 12.5k that the Water Warbear has. I mean, it's really cool. It's really exciting. I'd like to Second Awaken all of them. I have Second Awakened one, and I'm on my way to Second Awaken my second one. Of course, I did the very, very typical route, and I 6-starred Ra'ok, because I've always loved Ra'ok, and from the very beginning of the game, Ra'ok was a monster that just really appealed to me. Between the passive getting additional turns after you kill a monster, and the chance to proc your first skill a bunch of times, like, it's just really entertaining, and even if it wasn't practical in most situations, especially not in PvP, it was really fun. And at the end of the day, this is a game, so having fun is really, really important. And for me, I've had a lot of fun with Ra'ok. And now with his higher base stats, you know, runes are no longer like abysmal on him, you know, because you put your best, highest quality fatal or rage runes, and then he would still like barely perform, and you're like, wow, I just gave him some C3 quality runes, and he's hitting like a wet noodle. But now with the higher stats, mine can basically farm Fame and Hell. It can one-hit everything except for the Inigamis and the boss at the 3rd stage of Fame and Hell. That's just because I don't have max towers. His runes aren't super grinded, but no, it's got no grinds except for slot 1, and even that. But he's got like the minimum speed, and then I just threw on a bunch of damage runes. He's a lot of fun. I'm using him as my rep. He farms Fame and Hell really reliably. Because even if he doesn't one-shot the enemy, if he teams up with anything that does any amount of damage, he's going to kill the Inigamis, which is going to give him extra turns. And usually the Hellhound boss won't kill him in 1 turn. Putting a lot of time into talking about this guy. Other things, you know, you could see all the 6-stars we have out right now. These are all things I've been building and working on. Susano got re-runed. Attack, crit damage, attack. I think this is a pretty good. But when I first looked at this, it looked pretty good, but this actually looks like speed, crit damage, attack, if you were to just look at this base level, or if I were to look at the rune build, but it just got really high speed subs. Attack, crit damage, attack, and I wasn't using these runes on anybody else. This is a really good rune. This is like a PvP, like DPS rune. It'll probably end up staying in PvE though, because it's just not, crit damage subs aren't super, super viable for PvP unless you're trying to one-shot something. But that's what I have him on right now. He's really fun. I've been using him in Guild Wars, Guild Siege, and that's about it. I didn't put him back in the Giants or Dragons or anything. I re-runed Tarks with my garbage Swift runes that were sitting here, just so I have higher world boss score, and because I'm always running out of rune space. So they have like 1 or 2 good runes each, and the rest are like kind of meh runes. I want to get Aegir runed up ASAP, but he does need violent runes for that, and I'm still farming in Giants because I just really, really, really value all the Giants runes because they're all stat increases. So, anyways, yeah, we Second Awakened Ra'ok. We 6-starred Crow because Crow is the target of our next Second Awakening. I farmed all of the XP for him to Second Awaken last night. I did about 50 runs. Up until then, I was just trying to keep my energy below max, my Dimension Hole energy. If you guys who don't know, or maybe haven't been playing the game for a little while, the Dimension Hole energy is its own energy now, much like Arena Wings compared to regular energy, So now it's another currency that regenerates on its own. You can't refill it at for the time being. There was an event where you could refill your first 20 energy that you used got refunded to you, so you would have a guarantee. You could guaranteed get your first second awakening just in one swoop, farming nonstop. But there's no way to refresh it right now. Who knows if there will be in the future? I don't think there will be. It regenerates pretty quickly, I would say. If you've been farming so far, you could have gotten 2.5, maybe 3, maybe even more secondary awakening awakened monsters. Now the monsters I've been in secondary awakening have also been monsters that I don't feel necessarily need the skill ups. Now the skill ups change when you secondary awaken them, so don't look at your first your first awakened monster in order to reference for what the second's going to need, because as you can see, you don't need to skill up the second skill to have the 3-turn cooldown. Now you can get even more harmful effect rate than Rauk had before the secondary awakening, by skilling him up, and it goes even higher, but I don't really care about that. I secondary awaken him for the high damage. Crow, I'm secondary awakening because it's going to be nice to have a monster that I could just dedicate to Rift Beasts. I have Brandia, but Brandia's fire, which limits her to, not, of course, be in the water stages, and I don't know, having Crow is just going to be so much fun. It's kind of redundant. It's kind of a redundant unit, for my account at least, but it's going to be a lot of fun because he teams up with allies that also get to take advantage of the damage increased by harmful effect, and massive single target based on harmful effects, plus it lands a branding afterward. So that's kind of nice. It lands the branding after the attack though, so maybe you could put him with Brandia if you want to hit your whatever 20 million, 30 million Rift Beast score. I'm sure there's going to be somebody trying to do that, because I'm sure you can now. I'm sure you could land enough harmful effects to do some outrageous amount of damage with a bunch of rage on your damage dealers and a bunch of fight sets on your other units, but he's going to be fun. And to be honest, I already had my Inagami team that I was farming set, and I didn't want to go and build another team and then have energy just sitting around. I don't want to waste the Dimension Hall energy. I want to get as many secondary awakenings as I can. Other things that we've messed around with this guy a little bit. We did craft a vampire crit damage rune for the Legend Craft event for anybody who's curious. Now, it turned out okay, I guess. It could have been better. All the substats are grindable, which is kind of nice. It did have crit rate, but the crit rate was 4%, and it didn't roll into it at all. So I felt I might as well not have it at all. The 4% is not going to make that big of a difference. So I enchanted it out for defense percentage, and I've just kind of grinded with some really crap blue grinds over the top. But it's better than any crit damage rune I had for Vampire, and I didn't really have any blade crit damage runes to spare, or any other Vampire slots that would be decent. So, but he's on HP crit damage attack, if you're wondering why his attack's so low. And I was using him a little bit just to mess around, frontline in the Windrift Beast. You could see I have a surplus of vampire grinds that I just chuck on the vampire runes, because when I raid, apparently that's the grind and enchant I get the most of for whatever reason. I used him a little bit in the front line of the Windrift Beast because I believe he can bring some stability into the team by constantly regenerating his own health, therefore doing damage to the boss and stopping your team from wiping. But I was just playing around with it. It's a lot of fun. He could farm Chiruka Remains Hell by himself. I feel like you've always been able to do that with Trevor, but I can do it with this one. So I did it to do it. It was a long run. It was 3 minutes or something. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It felt like a long time. It felt like years watching the run go by, but I was curious about if I could do it, so I threw him in there. It was a lot of fun. We did 6-star Lauren. Now, I did express some concerns I had with my second Raid 4 team, Raid 5 team, once it has grinds. Raid 4 team that I used to carry Leica through raids. Leica can now hold its own better than my secondary team, just because it's gotten better runes, and it has a more synergistic team comp. It's got a team comp that complements itself better, and has more of what you need in a raid composition, because it doesn't sacrifice the damage mitigator by being a second team. For example, let me show you. I don't have a Diaz, so Darien is in my primary team, my team that fails almost never. In Raid 4, it doesn't fail. The only time it fails is if the other teams happen to wipe, which it hasn't in the past past month or so that I've been farming it, so I haven't noticed it fail at least. Here's my secondary team that I've been running. I run Tsarian in here just because he's got that resistance lead, which is really important because it just boosts all my mons by 41% resistance. So I only need 59% resistance on any given unit to be at max while I'm in this dungeon, which is nice. You can see I tried to hit the crit cap. He's actually a little bit too high because we have leadership skill from we have the Theomar's leadership skill from the Leica account because that's the DPS unit for right now. Hopefully not soon. I'm trying to get Xiaolin built up on Leica right now. And then I won't have the crit rate lead. I'll have the Hua lead. So then he'll be only 5% over what you need because the 19% Hua lead will bring him up to 100%. But I gave him a decent amount of defense. His HP is too low. I would say he's on attack, crit damage, attack. He's got room for enchants though, like HP enchant and crit rate enchant and grinds. He just grinds all over the place, really. Grinds are just so gone from my account. I realized this recently when I was just looking through my rune inventory on runes that I have because I hit the max, so I was trying to find things to sell. And I have a lot of really good runes, or I would say good for where I'm at. Like, I would put them at about Conqueror 1, Conqueror 2 level runes, but they don't have grinds or enchants, which makes them crap. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've played the game for a long time, if you've gotten into mid-game, mid into late game. You'll have those runes where it's like, wow, this is a really good rune, but without grinds and enchants, it's like I'm not even going to use it because it's just not like I can't fit it into a rune build, if you understand what I'm saying. So, secondary team has double main healer and then a backup heal from Delphoy and then 2 forms of cleanse. Now we have the attack bar reduction, which is really good because that was actually killing the team before not having the attack bar reduction. She's on speed, crit damage, HP, by the way, if anybody's curious. She also needs some grinds and enchants, but it's nice. I would really like to have Diaz because Diaz would just get rid of Fedora and we'd put Diaz in the front line. We have an extra damage mitigator. I've tried using the Fire Assassin, but if I use the Fire Assassin, then it means I need to have 2 healers, or at least 1 heal based off of attack, and then 1 strong HP-based heal. Now, if Bella Dion was second awakened, the healing would go up, I believe. Maybe it's just the attack bar, but I think the healing goes up too. We'll check that after this. And then, instead of Chasun, I would use Huahi in this team, and I would use a more safe Huahi, like a speed, HP, attack Huahi instead. Now, on the note of Huahi, since we're talking about monsters that I've been building up lately and Huahi, I did finally get her max skilled. She's on speed, crit damage, attack, right? No, she's attack, crit damage, attack. Attack, crit damage, attack. She's got pretty decent speed for being attack, crit damage, attack. Now, she also needs grinds. This is a pretty good rune by itself, though. But yeah, defense grind, speed grind. She needs quite a bit. Speed grind there, defense grind. She's got some work. I really want to get her attack higher. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too ambitious with it, but I want her to be able to, heal for 15k or some ridiculous amount of healing with attack buff. Because after Colleen moves and gives her an attack buff in Windrift Beast, I like her to be able to full health anybody on the team. But that's a little bit ambitious for where I'm at my account. I don't have fight runes. My towers aren't maxed. I'm not going to touch Fire Tower anytime soon, even if I did have some of my towers maxed. But that's what's going on with her. That's her runes. She's nice. I really like her on Violent. And again, having her max skilled, that's the huge thing. She gets her 3rd skill off more often, does more damage, gets her heal off more often, which is the most important thing, because if that heal's not going off, then I'm wiping. While we're here, we'll also go through the Glory Towers, because I've been leveling my Glory Tower. We finally got it up to level 8. I mentioned in the last From the Crumbs video, I'm not spending my glory points on scrolls anymore. I've kind of gotten over that instance of rage summoning for Lucian. If it happens, it happens. My Giant Speed 10 is fine without Lucian for right now. So I do have the Sky Tribe Totem to level 8. I'm going to get it to level 9, and then I'm going to max the crit damage tower. Then I'm going to finish the speed tower, and then I'm going to start working on my attack towers. I'm not going to work on a HP or defense tower anytime soon. I'm not super worried about that. I'm more worried about the attack towers in every point in the game. So We'll probably do like the standard attack towers and then work into wind and then water, because those are the elements that I have the most units in, namely the twins, and of course Lucian. Lucian needs those towers too, but that's where I'm at right now. I can probably get the Sky Tribe totem leveled up in the next week and a half if I just farm every day. I haven't done all the math for it, but I mean, it feels like you get glory points really, really quickly. I don't understand how I was blowing through them that fast on scrolls before. I think I was capping out the wind scrolls I could buy per week, actually. We have all these crystals. We were actually at like 6,500 after I bought the packs, but I've just been farming, and that was 6,500 as of 2 days ago. So I've been trying to do 500 crystals a day minimum farming, and these are days where I've been working. It's now Friday for me, so I'll be able to spend, I think, the entirety of my weekend farming, which it sounds like a miserable, daunting task, I guess, to some people. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to be able to spend time, now that I've spent more time working, to like actually really farm away on an account and try to get further in it. In addition, I've been farming on the other accounts. I'm going to try to have some other videos coming out for those accounts too. I know you guys haven't seen any videos for like beginner's account in a long time. Like it doesn't get enough updates or enough time on it really, but that's what I've been working on this account so far. I guess I'll show you guys my Windrift Beast since it's now a triple S rating. 5 million damage. 5 million damage. This is the team I've been using, and I hit triple S with... This doesn't look right. I actually think it was Colleen instead of Trevor. Trevor I was trying out recently. Actually, we can just go back here and check. This is the team. Okay, yeah. That makes more sense. So, let's flip this around. Let's flip this all the way around. Now, with this team, we have Mavin here, and he's a wind, and I know wind monster in the front line of a team that should have a fire monster in the front line. He's speed defense, so even when he takes damage, he heals up so fast. He only has 16,000 HP? 16,800 HP. So Huahi heals him up pretty much completely, and after a Colleen heal, he's always healed up to full. So and my team is always speed tuned to have Colleen move first. Of course, she's on my raid 5 build, so she's raid 5 backline though. For anybody who's like looking at the stats, like, oh, your defense is 400 too low. I know, but she's like R5 backline. She'll always move before Huahi, and she's pretty smart about using the attack buff every single time it's up, or her heal every time it's up. So she'll use it, and then Huahi will go, and regardless of what Huahi does, she's having a huge impact on the run, because if she does Pride Will Fall, she does quite a bit of damage on this build. Now, something else that I've been working on a lot lately was making sure that all my damage dealers were optimized here. The most important thing was trying to hit 85% crit rate on everybody, and I did on all my DPS. All my DPS have 85 plus crit rate, so I will be critting every single time I attack, which was, I think, really crucial to make the team a lot more consistent. Putting Huahi on Violent was really nice too, because the more additional turns she takes, the better she is for the run. There's no downside to Huahi taking additional turns, especially now that her second skill is maxed, so it's on a 3-turn cooldown. Brandia also has been getting some Devilmons, if you can't tell by these skill ups. I'm trying to get her third skill on the lower cooldown. I believe it goes down to 3 turns. So we'll be spamming the damage more often. And I think I changed her over and didn't mention that. Yeah, I think I changed her over really recently, actually, to Fatal Guard. I was trying to get her more defense percentage, because that means she takes less damage, so it's going to be easier to heal. Having a little bit of defense on your units in the Windrift Beast, in my experience, has been really good for increasing the consistency, because the less damage they take, the easier it is to heal. Now you can put HP on them, but if you put too much HP on them, then it becomes that, oh, now they've got so much HP, it's hard to hit the max, because you always want to max out their HP. That's how you get rid of the debuff that's doing continuous damage to you every turn. Not to mention Rauk. Rauk's an absolute monster. If he teams up with anybody, he's lowering their cooldown. Everybody he can team up with on this team makes it impactful, aside from maybe Shiwa. But even if he teams up with Shiwa, I mean, he's lowering the cooldown of her brand / her self-heal. So even if Huahi can't heal for whatever reason, she was the only person on this team who gets really, really low. Sometimes Mav gets low, but he's usually topped off because he could heal himself with his second skill, which also makes him pretty good here. But Sheila can top herself off. Sheila's got the brand. So the way everything's been working so far with the team, it's really, really nice. I've been really happy with the Windrift Beast. And like I said, 5 million damage. It's looking good compared to my other ones, actually. It's looking better than my water one and my light and dark ones. So my Windrift Beast is set. I have the Fire Homunculus, and now that I've been building him thus far and I have a working Windrift Beast team, I'm actually feeling like I don't need him there, especially since I don't feel hard-pressed to re-rune any of the monsters that are in that team. I mean, Colleen just stays as she is for Raid. I didn't have to change her for this. I guess I could theoretically remove Colleen and put the Fire Homunculus in the front line, since he's got that Revive passive, and just have another damage dealer to bring the damage even higher and maybe the consistency higher, but I don't know about that. We're going to get him max skilled no matter what, because then we get the reset Homunculus skill coupon, and we can turn him into any Homunculus we want to after that. But that's about it, guys. Oh yeah, Dark Vampire's here too. I don't really like him. I don't really like him in the Windrift Beast. I thought I would. But that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'm hopefully going to be back to more videos. Like I said, I'm really sorry I've been gone. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, it's West again. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more.